I'm Scoop Sanderson. I'm the Main Street Gazette reporter. I love walking in Walt's footsteps. This is butterscotch and licorice. Hear that? They're excited, they're tinkling. They tinkle when they're excited. You can hear them. They do tricks. You want to see them do a trick? Say yeah! Yeah! All right.
Oh.
Show me any one dog that can do that. Much less two. All right, here we go. Sit up. Lori, can you come up here? I need a dog girl. Is there? No, well, there's stairs. Or yeah, if you can do that, do that. This is Lori, everybody. Say hi, Lori.
Hi, hi, everybody.
She's my dog girl. Lori, when you go ta-da, everybody's gonna applaud, cheer, scream, throw small children high in the air. You ready?
Yep. Hello there.
Just ta-da.
Oh. Ta-da!
Amazing. Watch this. Play dead.
Ta-da!
Roll over.
Ta-da! 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 Pretty good at that.
Shake.
Ta-da!
Don't do that with a real dog. Something might come out. Oh, hold on, one more. I got one more. All right. Sprinkle a little pixie dust on. I didn't break anything. I mean, that's Lori, everybody. All right, get out of here.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to push buttons and see what comes up on this thing here.
Ta-da!
There's me, Main Street Gazette reporter and town councilman Scoop Sanderson. All the news that fits. That's what was on the business card they gave me, which I asked for, because if you were around back then, you had a calling card. Everybody had a calling card. So there's all these things that when I develop a character, I want to think of the little detail things, and that's one of the little detail things. And that was me, I think, at the age of 35 or so when I hit Main Street. I forgot to change the glasses. I can't see anything without those glasses. All right, so there it is. This suit is 20 years old and I still fit into it. Wow. I feel pretty good about that. They switched the suits over time and kind of messed them up. They made them out of silk taffeta at one time. Anybody know what's missing from me that, oh, I didn't say it. I'm Holland Hayes. Hold on. Superman! There we go. That's me. And I'm an actor. And I've been an actor for a long time, and I love acting. And I'm a stage actor, and I do film and TV. I did a little film and TV before this. But Main Street was so perfectly suited for me because, as a lot of people who worked on Main Street said, if you're looking for Scoop, listen for Scoop. That's how you'll find him. I was loud enough to be heard over those big crowds out there. Me and Smokey were probably the two loudest guys on property. Smokey was the fire chief. Yeah. So I started in 1999 on Main Street. I was going to be the Main Street reporter. They wrote up a little thing. Me and the director actually wrote up this stuff, and it's so funny how anything somebody who works for Disney writes or produces, it becomes posterity. And that's kind of, this is going to be my legacy no matter what I do from here on out. I'm trying to get back into film and TV again, and I will always want to do stage, but it makes it difficult for me to do other things. So sometimes if a project's something that excites me, I'll do that. But I had a pretty good career before I got to Disney, and then I got the golden handcuffs, is what we call it. It's a great paying gig if you're an actor, and it's steady work. Usually an actor goes from gig to gig, and I'd always had steady work. I was in the Air Force. I never was stationed here at Wright Pat, but I met my wife in the Air Force, and we've been married for over 35 years. It's going to be 35 years, and we've got a little girl. Thanks. I'm proud of that too. So anyway, I'm going to take you all the way back to where it began at the turn of the century back in 1971, when I grew up in DeLand, and I had just cut my own hair, which my mom loved because that was captured forever. There's my legacy of hair. And I dressed funny. And I still do. In fact, I went to Main Street 25 years later, and Disney paid me to play on Main Street just like I did when I was a kid. We'd come down from DeLand, which is just north of Disney World. And I remember getting butterflies in my stomach when I first got there, and seeing the line of cars waiting to get into Disney World, and it was the first time and the only time I really remember my stomach fluttering from being so excited. And we would go there all the time, and I would play on Main Street and in the Penny Arcade, if anybody remembers the Penny Arcade, and we would go to the Diamond Horseshoe, and they would close all the doors and windows, and you would escape to another time in the Wild West, where the Can-Can girls and the Red Hot Mama and the dancing cowboys would put on a show that made you forget where you were. You forgot you were at Disney World even, and that's pretty hard to do. But it also inspired me. There was a guy named Wally Bogue. I know it's boring stuff. I swear I'll get to the, she was yawning right in my face. It's okay, sweetheart. No, she was shocked. That's what she was like. She was like, that's what it was. I can see you. It is boring, I know. I swear I'll get to the pins. But anyway, I love Disney. I love seeing the shows. Wally Bogue was the magician. I don't know if any of you remember him, or if you love Disney history, hopefully you'll know names like that. So anyway, I did spend a summer before going to Main Street with some of these friends in 1,000-degree heat. And I did 3 parades that just about killed me. And this is a Polaroid that they gave me, because they give everybody a Polaroid when they first go out with their friend. And Tigger was my first friend. And I'm just talking Disney lingo for we're friends with characters there. Yep. It's in Adventureland. Can anybody see this picture at all? Yeah. Okay, can you see? Why is Tigger in Adventureland? Yeah. And even the bigger question is, why is White Rabbit in Adventureland? And that is because when you're new, they put you in a nice, easy spot that you won't get inundated with people. And it is the most disorienting thing you could ever do. You've got a couple of nostrils and a mouth to see out of on this guy, and really all you can see is down here. So anyway, I was thrilled to death when Universal hired me to be Mr. Peekaboo to open their Barney show. Did anybody ever see the Barney show over there? So I was the original Mr. Peekaboo. That's me, if you can see it up there with Barney. And I got to be on all the merchandise and everything. And I thought that was pretty spectacular. But, and I wasn't in 1,000-degree heat. The only fur I was in was the bald cap that I had to wear for Mr. Peekaboo. I did get back to Epcot, to the American Adventure, as a town crier, and I carried the flag with the band that's gone now. And came to Main Street, where I was welcomed by Mayor Weaver, who's gone to that magic kingdom in the sky now. And we became fast friends, as you can see here. There was a photographer, they loved taking pictures of us, and early on, they would take pictures of us and give them to us, the people that charge you $40 for a photo now at Disney. They would give them to us, and I have so many great pictures. He just wanted to take some pictures, so he followed us around. And they weren't nailed to the street there in the middle like they are now. They could wander around, so they would try to do things with us that they might want to do with other guests. But we did become fast friends, and we shared a dressing room together when I first got to the Magic Kingdom. This is 1999 when I was there, when I hit the streets as Scoop. Our dressing room we shared was in the castle, where the Dream Suite is now. And does anybody know what was originally in the castle? Yeah, it was Walt Disney World Operator. They had a couple of phone banks up there, and there was some storage up there and something. I never have seen it, and I don't even know if there are pictures of it. The castle suite is there now. There was a time when the ladies that were the kids of the kingdom, dancers, they occupied that dressing room, but something happened that you can read about if you want to Google it, and now they vacated it for me and the mayor, which was pretty cool to come to work every morning. Get in there's a little elevator, there's a tunnel, underneath there. And I'm doing this because Anita said you might want some good behind the scenes stuff. So I hope this is interesting, and if not, just yawn.
Anita is always right.
Huh?
Because Anita is always right.
That's right.
Right, guys?
I did this so you could see which windows those are. There are actual functional windows there, and this is the side facing Tomorrowland. So anyway, the mayor and I were up there, and the lady in the middle here was already on Main Street, and there was another lady, Miss Tabby. She's gone now, but eventually we became the core cast. Noah Lott was the only, there were subs. And sometimes they'd bring in the sub just to, get them out there and let them get the feel of things. And if we didn't need coverage, at first they didn't care how many citizens were out there. And then I think as we became more popular, they really wanted more of us out there. So they expanded the cast. Can anybody name any of these people, or want to, or should I? Yeah, what, Hannah?
Be a Star.
Yep, that's Be a Star. Hildegard Olivia Harding, Victoria Trumpetto, the music teacher. Hildegard owns the Emporium. Chief Smokey Miller and Mayor Christopher George Weaver. Smokey and Mayor Weaver both use their real names. So before long, we were all welcoming everyone to the Magic Kingdom with the Magic Kingdom Welcome Show that debuted for the 100 Years of Walt. And I got to meet Roy Disney when we did the train dedication there. I gave him I wore a little train pin. Does anybody know the LE 5000 train that facing the forward-facing locomotive from around the Millennium time? I gave him that, and he put it on his shirt and took it with him, which made me very happy. That Roy took a little piece of Disney and me with him. This is a print I made for our cast as a Christmas gift one year, and this was all the subs, everybody who worked on Main Street. So this is Miss Inga DePoint, Mabel Maybe Not, Eunice McGillicuddy, Smokey Miller, me, Victoria Trumpetto, Mayor Weaver, Hildegard Harding, Be a Star, Constance Purchase, Penny Prose, Penelope Prose, the mayor's niece, Sheila Shufflehop, and Frances Fermata, and Dewey Cheatham, who is also in the Magic Kingdom in the Sky. Dewey was, he was at, if you went to the Adventures Club, you probably saw Dewey there, primarily as the butler. When I made this print, I put hidden Mickeys on each one of them. So if you ever see one out there, and I have a couple I might bring them to market sometime, but mostly I gave them out as gifts that year. This was the barber shop when it was on Center Street, which is gone now. The Emporium expanded into the middle of it, and you can still go one way on Center Street out as you come in to the right. But to the left, there used to be a big flower cart there, and it was really beautiful, and a nice little just alcove where you could get away. And then inside the barbershop, the barbershoppers would actually just hang out in there and sing for a couple of their sets. They did something like, I think they did 10 sets a day, 15 to 20 minute sets a day. And anyway, when I first got there, we really didn't interact with the other entertainment. We were kind of doing our own thing. We'd interact with each other and with the guests, but not really with the barbershop quartet. And I had been in the Thoroughbreds barbershop quartet in Louisville, Kentucky, where all my family's from. And so I said, well, I'm going to start hanging out with these guys and singing. And it really kind of was cool to learn later that Walt had this picture that's kind of, I mean, it made me feel like I was thinking in, you know, our great minds maybe were aligned. One of the things I would do in the barber shop once it moved down to Town Square, I don't think I did it when I was on Center Street, was I'd have them lather me up for a shave, and then I'd come up with an excuse like, oh, I'm late for a meeting, what time is it, you know, and I'd run out the door, and then I'd start looking for Mayor Weaver's dog Nipper, and you know, he took my snatched my notepad out, just whatever I could, you know, whatever ruse to give me an excuse to be out there running around with shaved cream and a bib on, and I was actually commended by an Imagineer one time for really filling that space and bringing it to life, and so I really tried to think out of the box once I got to Main Street. One of the things I was kind of teasing you with was, does anybody know what I don't have, or any of the entertainers have that all the characters have? I'm missing a couple of things. What is it?
Name tag.
It is. It's a name tag. So, you know, the fireman, you know who the mayor is. It says it right across it, mayor. You know what a fire chief looks like. He's, you know, got his axe and he's in red, and you know these lovely ladies are lovely. You want a picture with them. Nobody wanted a picture with me. I actually blended, if you can believe it. So I would do stuff like this, kind of to get attention. I wanted to keep that job. I didn't want to just disappear. And so I got him to put my name on my handkerchief. So that's my name tag. There is a character that has his name. It's on a tag. Does anybody know? Yeah, Bluebell. That was when I got to Main Street. And there's the whole Hee Haw gang. And we started playing more with the other entertainers. So at 1 o'clock every day, well, maybe not. It might have been noon, because I was doing my 1 o'clock talk. So probably at noon, the whole saxophone band and the barber shoppers, we'd all do a huge hootenanny. Did anybody ever get to see it? Well, if you ever find video of it or pictures of it, I would love to have anything you have like that with any pictures of the Main Street entertainment. So there's one guy. Can anybody see the one guy that's not an entertainer there? He's down on the right, and he's our director, and we wanted to get a picture of him because he was the one who we were able to talk into doing this big thing. So I would play on Main Street with my dogs and entertain fans like this kid that dressed up like me, and I'd pull the dogs behind the bus and the trolley car. There's the dogs there, and people would point and laugh, and it doesn't matter what language you speak. When you see this coming down the street, it's funny. And I know that because Bob Iger and Jay Rizzullo laughed at it. And if you know them, you know what I mean. And they walked behind and we passed them on the trolley car, and as we passed, ha ha ha! So I knew I was onto something. So one time they decided they were going to count how many interactions we had. So if I was walking down the street and I said, howdy, hi neighbor, hey, what's news? That would be 4. So I would, when they were, and they had their clicker, they'd go click, click, click. So I got on the trolley and I went down the street and they were going. They couldn't keep up. That was awesome. A bean counter. Out of their mind. And the other great thing that I did going up Main Street was I would, if I recognized one of the cast members, I tried to learn all the cast members' names that sold the balloons or would hang outside. They make them stand outside and wave when you first come in the park. So I would say, hey Jim, morning Joe, hey Anita, hi Hannah.
Hi, Scoop.
There you go. Before long, they would start saying it back. And then I'd come down Main Street, and while I was going down Main Street, I'd hear,
Morning, Scoop.
and you can't rehearse that. You can't have a rehearsal with everybody who works on Main Street to, hey, when the Scoop goes by, yell out Scoop, hey Scoop. So I got him to do it, and I just kind of did it organically and instinctively, and I really just tried to make it not about me. So that is what we did was, you know, entertainment is virtually gone. Interactive entertainment is virtually gone. And I told you about the calling card. When you're an interactive actor, you actually have a calling card. Hi, I'm Scoop, the Main Street reporter. That's my calling card. I thought we should have literal calling cards, so that's why I asked them to come up with those, and then we all got our calling cards. Walt Disney knew that high tech would pull in people to see his high-tech attractions, but high touch is what really creates memories for people like Joe and Jim and Hannah and Carlene and Katie and all the people that I've, I don't know if I've met Beth on Main Street, but when I meet people doing this, it's important to me, Lori. And what I tried to teach people was, do you know what your favorite word is, Lori? Lori. Your favorite word is your name. People love to hear their name. And so I tried to use everybody's first name as much as I could, and I got pretty popular for remembering names, but I would cheat a lot. I would ask Sarah, are you Sarah, or are you, what's your sister's name? Elizabeth? And you know, they would feed it to me, and then when I did call the person who I got fed the name, that really was kind of special to them that I remembered their name, even though I didn't, but I did a lot of times. The fairy godmother, if you ever meet the fairy godmother at Disney World, man, she knows my daughter's name. I don't know how. She was friends with Snow White back when the place opened. That's how long she's been there. So anyway, I loved all the people who came to visit us. Like this family who made dresses to matches. And this is a brother and sister, and their mom was a professional photographer, and she would give me pictures. I would give the dogs sometimes to, did I give dogs to anybody here? I would give the dogs to, sometimes it was usually kids that looked like they may not go home with anything that day, you know, for a souvenir. And I'd just do stuff like that. That actually was the first time I think I did that, and that because, you know, to get the picture, she wanted, you know, I'd come up with this. I have so many with these two kids here. They get there first thing in the morning. They start running to see me. And I'd sing with people. This was one of the nurses actually from the first date, and she brought her friends, and we all sang. And I loved people. I loved hugging people. You know, Aladdin got to hug kids. Genie got to hug kids. They're guys. I thought, you know what? I can hug people. People need hugs. know, a lot of people who go to Disney World really need hugs. I mean, they're there. Here's my $150. Make me happy. And the madder they looked, they just waited to park, and then I had to pay to do it and get in this place, and then I had to wait to get on the monorail, and then I had to wait to buy my ticket, and then get through the turnstile. Waited was half an hour to do that, and then I had to get on a monorail and a boat, and then wait to get through and now security. So I tried to have sympathy for, you know, it's easy to blow off people like that. And so, and I would talk about this stuff in my 1 o'clock pin talk, which I promise I'm getting to. But this is important stuff to me. And it was something special that I brought to Disney and I wanted to bring to you today, and it's more important to me than pins. Pins are important to me. So here's the pin thing. When I hit Main Street in 1999, they had kicked off the Millennium Celebration, and pin trading was a big part of that. And I started buying pins because eBay was a new thing. And the pins that I was buying for $8 were on eBay for $80 sometimes. And that was kind of irresistible. So I started buying pins. And then I made a connection with a guy out at Disneyland. And I know these images aren't very clear, but what is the difference in these two pins? Anybody raise your hand if you know?
Coloring.
Coloring, yeah, but why is the color different?
One's an enamel,
One's epoxy enamel,
Yeah.
and one is cloisonne. And I had no idea there was a difference. Disneyland did. They made their first year last year in real cloisonne. Disney World said, that's too ugly. We want Mickey's face to be flesh colored the way it's supposed to be. So they can't do it with epoxy. They can do pink with epoxy, the cloisonne. Cloisonne is essentially ground glass, which is called silica. It's ground into a fine powder. It's colored with, red is used to make, gold is used to make red and pink. There are minerals, I wish I could remember. Cobalt makes cobalt blue, right? So anyway, I have samples of those that I brought that I was going to bring out to my table there, but it's too crazy for my first. By the way, if you've come to my table, I apologize in advance. I am the most disorganized person here, and I was very overwhelmed trying to do that today. I sell on Whatnot, which I sell pins individually. And it's so much better. and you can bid on them and win them, and we talk and stuff. So anyway, so there's my, I know you can't probably see that, so I'm going to show it to you in person. I was the only person I ever saw that could make, who's the youngest kid here?
There was a baby earlier.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to impress a tween or a young. So I would open up my vest if somebody wanted to pin trade. And it didn't stop there because I have a floor length and a double wide. And does anybody have a lanyard on? You got one? Come on up here. Is that Natasha?
Yeah.
Hi, Natasha.
Hey, Scoop.
Come on up here. Put your lanyard on for me. So what I would demonstrate to people, hey, come around, please. I say hi, Natasha.
Hey, Scoop.
Say hi, Natasha. Hi, Natasha. It's nice to meet me.
It's nice meeting you.
That's what I said.
How's your day been?
Excellent. So, well, she's kind of got a lanyard on here. What was happening when pin trading really started kicking off is people were on a treasure hunt. There's Cody, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Or that guy's in trouble if. Hey, Cody. They would come up to the cast members and they'd say, "Oh, you got nothing."
I got my in my bag here. I got my pens in the
Well,
bag.
here, let me see that. And who wants to be handled like that and treated like a museum exhibit, you know, that you really want to get a close, and it's very uncomfortable for young ladies. So I would preach pin etiquette to people. I would, after I meet you, I'd use your name as much as I could so that you like to hear that. And then, here, let you put a lanyard on. So, do y'all like cast member pins, anybody?
Yes.
Who's more likely than anyone to have a cast member pin in their pocket? You know, I had to go to a stupid meeting this morning, Natasha, and they didn't have coffee or donuts or anything, but they had this pin, and I don't like pins. Here, have a pin.
Thank you.
Now that could happen.
Yes.
Anyway, start out with their favorite word. It's right there. Hi, Natasha, may I see your pins, please?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So, everybody who works at Disney has been asked to bring them into clear view. I don't think that really happens anymore, but this is bringing them into clear view, so I'm not looking at Natasha like that. And, I want that. Give me that. I need that. I need that. I need that. You have that pin.
Well,
I need it.
wait your turn, and I will give it to you when the time is right. Be patient.
Don't give it any pin to anybody like that. let them say, may I trade that pin, please?
Yes, you may.
If you work at Disney World, it's probably because it used to be 1 in 100 people. Now I think it's everybody. But they are treated very differently throughout the day. And maybe you could be the one that is different. May I trade that pin, please?
Yes.
And please and thank you. And all those words that we were taught. You know, I'll ask somebody, hey, you want this? And then they'll go, yes, please, or no, thank you, is what I tell them. And we should all be using that kind of language. I mean, it seems to be disappearing, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so anyway, I appreciate you helping me, Natasha.
It's no problem.
And I'd like you to take a pin from here.
Oh, are you sure?
I'm totally positive. Just hurry up.
Oh, no.
What'd you get?
I'm getting the Steamboat Willie one.
And you're sure you got a good look and that's the one you want?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
All right, let's hear it for Natasha, everybody. So here's a pro tip. If the guy you're trading with has made a pin, or they've made a pin based on his character, like that one, that Scoop with Miss Hildegard and the little dogs, and that Scoop at the Haunted Mansion. There are 2 series. Oh, wow. And there's a bunch of other, they did a Super Jumbo. Anybody see the Super Jumbo? Man, when I first saw that, do you have one on you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, Carol Ryan.
Am I going to sign it for you today? That's why people like that pinner. Would you please come up and tell me who you are?
I'm Carol.
Hi, Carol. Everybody say hi, Carol.
Hi.
I didn't expect this. All right, well, this is going to be the rest of the show, I guess. Would you open it up and show everybody, please? Now, when I first saw that, I didn't even know they were doing it. And I walked into the Pin Palace Pin Traders at downtown Disney Springs now, and that was in the little showcase. Act natural, Carol. I about dropped. I mean, I couldn't believe it. Oh, it's falling out.
Don't let it fall.
Yeah, don't let, no. I mean, anyway.
There.
Carol, can I give you a pen?
You sure can. Thank you very much.
Yes, please. We learned fast.
Hold on, say it louder so that,
Yes, please.
uh-huh,
I would love to have Scoop
there you go.
at the Haunted Mansion.
She didn't say I'll take first. She said, I'd like to have Scoop, please. And I'll sign that one too. And I even brought the card for
Oh,
it.
you have the card.
Can you
Awesome.
believe it?
I'm a firm believer the cards are as important as the pin.
I think if they're art cards, I call
Yes.
them art cards.
Yes,
If
I
they're
do
the
too.
plain black ones, I don't care.
No, but the art cards.
That was the first series, the Main Street Gazette. They actually had me, they'd give me a fun fact about whatever the pin was going to be. This is about Madame Leota. And I would write a little article for him. Has it been 2 hours yet, Anita?
No.
No, you
been
go
6
free,
minutes.
okay.
All right, so there's the
And
card.
there's a story
I'll
on the
sign
back.
that. I'll sign that for you. And that talks about
Yeah.
the lady that voiced and was the face originally of Madame Carlotta.
Right.
There's Carol, everybody. Thank Carol for coming. And Carol, because you picked my pen, I'm going to give you another pen that I hope you don't have. I mean, if you do, it's okay. Do you have that one?
I do not.
So I was able to design 2 pins. If you see Joe and Jim, they're wearing the first one.
Yes.
It was limited edition 750, and I used it to demonstrate how to color pins, which I think, let's see what the next slide is, Carol. There it is. I actually, here,
Thank you very much.
you're so very welcome. Thank you for
That's
helping.
awesome.
And I'll sign all that for you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, thanks, Carol. So I was the first person who really brought to life the concept of merchantainment. Merchantainment was this idea that if you worked in the Emporium and you dressed, you know, in the turn of the century, you might want to try to, you know, I don't know, say good morning, you know, or something, howdy. So anyway, I knew I really had made it when they let me start doing the 1 o'clock pin talk. It started out with people sitting on the floor in the back of the exposition hall. Were y'all there for that? This was just, you walk in and go down the side, and it was a big hallway that had exhibits like you can see there, and it had a photo thing, you know, the blue screen, green screen, whatever thing. And then I took the whitest spot, and I just talked about pins back there at 1 o'clock, and they loved it. They loved, Disney loved it. The guests loved it. Everybody wanted to learn about pins, and there was no really good resource for it. We didn't have, you know, the internet like we have now. I mean, you could find out things, I guess, but not really. And so I did everything I could to learn about the pins. I talked to the manufacturers, and I, you know, I would read what I could about the cloisonné and the synthetic. The Dapper Dans would come in and sing with me. This is when we moved into the theater back where they used to show the cartoons. And I didn't realize it at the time, but this is my wife and my daughter. And it must have been something really special for them to be there, because they hated coming to anything. And because I was so obsessed with pins, they really, I mean, just didn't want anything to do with it. My wife, and during the Millennium Celebration, the first pin event was at Epcot. They had an artist choice. They started the artist choice, which were LE 10,000. Can you believe 10,000? And we waited in line, and it was on April 1st, which is our anniversary. And my wife's gift to me was waiting in line on our anniversary so that I could get pins that I might not get if I didn't wait in that stupid line. So I got the Scoop 1 o'clock pin talk, I got this card made, and you know, that takes an act of Congress. And on the back, is the copyright Disney with some sort of product number in really tiny print at the bottom so that they could be reordered. And I talked about how pins are made. I talked about that poison synthetic thing. This was called a process. What's it called now, Patrick?
Progression.
Yeah, they call them a progression now. You've heard of progressions. Well, the pin makers back then called this a process. This is the pin process. And it starts out with an ingot that's stamped with an impression, with a hydraulic press with a couple of 100 tons of pressure. And it is punched out like a hole punch. You punch out or a penny would be minted. And then it's, what is that step? I can't read. What is that? Can you see that? What is that?
Soldering.
Soldering? Oh, they soldered the pin on the back. So, and I think I've even seen them just do a drop of super glue. Now, a lot of the pins get that loosey-goosey back now. That's because they're molded. It's molten zinc alloy that's poured into a vulcanized rubber mold. And it's a spin mold, and it comes down the middle. It spins out like spokes on a bicycle, and it spreads out into the mold. And then remember the model kits that you broke all the little pieces off?
Yeah.
That you break, the pin gets broken off of there. I'm pretty good at painting pictures with words, aren't I? I'm trying to. Are y'all getting the gist of what I'm saying? And then, when they do the molded ones that are the vast majority are now, they're very lightweight. Cloisonne is like glass. It can chip, crack, and break if you drop it on a hard surface, like a tile surface or concrete or whatever. And a lot of pins got damaged, and that's not a great guest satisfier. They're heavy. So, God, this thing weighs a ton. I'm not going to buy any more. Oh, hold on. We'll make them lighter and cheaper. I mean, cheaper to make. We'll charge you more. So anyway, this is the step-by-step of how the enamel is applied. Now, with the spun cast molded pins, they put the tack into the mold, and then as it fills around that tack, and that's why it can wiggle so much around, because that metal has stretched and it's gotten loose in there. And I think I've got a video on how to fix that. Maybe you know, but anyway, it shows you how to fix if you get a loose back. Anyway, I thought the more you know about this kind of stuff, the more you kind of value these pins. All this epoxy enamel is injected with a syringe by a human being. Yeah, they're all handmade. Little tiny Chinese hands squirt that enamel in there. And then they bake them, and it cures. The cloisonne melts, because it's glass, right? Glass melts at a high temperature. And you have to heat them at twice the temperature to get that material to melt. So the lines on cloisonne pins, like the two I showed you, the lines are thicker because they have to withstand those higher temperature, or they'll just fizzle into and melt into the silica that's put in there. Anyway, it's kind of fascinating, and I encourage you all to learn about it, because you'll value your little treasures a little bit more. And hopefully at Disney you were buying more the more you learned about them. So I think that kind of made me a big deal for a long time with a lot of people at Disney, because nobody had ever done that. And I was really thinking out of the box the whole time I was there. I wanted to keep my job. Anybody know about the Disneyana guides?
Tom and Art?
Huh?
Tom and Art?
Tom Art? Yeah, and who made them? Anybody?
Tom and Art.
Tom Tumbush.
Yes.
And he is the originator of the Dayton, Ohio event, and thankfully Anita has taken it over. And I'm very grateful to both those people. Tom's not with us anymore, but if you knew him or want to tell me anything more about him, I knew him, and he actually autographed one of these two to me. And I was thinking of bringing it, but I didn't want to risk it. But I would talk about him as guide, especially when we sold them. So if you haven't seen them, they're out there. Get one and have a look. So I'm kind of, I don't know what is here now because I can't read any of the notes. So, so here I'm holding this thing here, and this is my patented pen flipper. I can flip a pen so fast your head will spin, and if you can name the pen, you win. It's just that easy. Anybody want to win a pen? Sure. Who said sure? Yeah, it's Natasha. You already won a pen, Natasha. So the great thing about the patented pen flipper is kids are great at it, and adults are not. So it was really great to well, here, let's do it. So there's only one way to win a pen with the patented pen flipper, and that's, you didn't see what this is. You gotta name the pen. So I'm gonna flip the pen, and if you can name the pen, you win. And if two people shout out the same thing at the same time, and they win, we'll have a flip off. Now that's the kind of thing you can say at Disney World when it's innocent like that, but people like double entendre. You got that. What's that flippin' pen? What's that flippin' pen? What's that flippin' pen? What's that flippin' pen? What's that flippin' pen?
It's the Jolly.
Jolly, that's it. Come on, Katie. You want a flippin' pen? Let's hear it for Katie, everybody. Come get a pen. Katie's the shyest of the girls. She's gonna hop right on up here. Here, pick. Where'd I put the? Oh, here. You get to pick a pen. And then I would let them pick off this one first, and then they could pick one off of here, or they could, if they were nice, I'd let them pick off. Does anybody remember what I did? I don't remember. What?
If you had a pin, a mystery pin, and it had it backwards, so that it was the Mickey Mouse here back, then they'd got to pick off the other way.
Okay, all right. So I don't know what I did, but anyway.
Pick that one.
Is that the one you wanted? Oh, look, it wanted you too. Go ahead and get it. All right. And hope you find it back.
Oh, we got time.
I know you do.
Landed on the table.
Oh.
Is it the black back?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's it. That was magic. All right. Clap for Katie, everybody. Honestly, I have no idea what's left here, so let's see. Oh, I did, when I released that pen that Joe and Jim have, that was the first pen I had made. And the second was the one that I gave Carol. It's the only continuing the tradition pen trading pin. So the pen trading logo's at the top, like all the pen trading, which I always love pen trading merchandise, always collect. And then at the bottom was continuing the tradition. They've done a lot of continuing the tradition pins, the first with Goofy and Mickey. And that was what I called a spot award. It was awarded on the spot. And they did them for cast members. They had top dog traders, they had champion traders. Champions tended to have a nomination kind of thing. A manager would do that. But when I first made that pen, I did a thing. Here is the art for it. And the winner got the art with the Pantone colors and a picture of the pen and then the real pen on it, and I did this. And I actually did it for everybody that was there. These were all the people that were really nice about pen trading. And Dana would go over, this is Dana, if you know who she is, she'd go around, clean all the scrappers off the lanyards and just throw them away. Figgy and Britt came up with pen picks, and right after me, Molly is going to be here to tell you about pen picks and the new app, where you can take a picture of a pen to identify it, and it just pops up automatically. And it's in beta testing right now. Some of us have the beta version. It is so cool and so exciting to be. How many of you use pen picks? Please take a moment to thank Molly. She's got the big pen picture. She and Joe bought it. They have transformed it. They're very busy trying to make it even better every day. And there are two people here I'd like to could you stand up? This is Sarah and Elizabeth. I don't know which is which.
I'm Elizabeth.
That's Elizabeth. Sarah's videotaping. Give them a big hand. When you go and find a pin on PinPix, it's very likely they may have put, if there's a new picture of it, they may have put it in there. And there's a whole crew of volunteers that are working really hard to make sure that the images are much better than they used to be, so that the camera can find it with the Google Lens. If you don't know what it is, pinpix.com, stick around for Molly, she'll tell you more about it. But you can inventory your pins there, and then trade online, it's fantastic. So anyway, I used to do things like get Mickey Mouse to come and award the winner of my stupid game I made up, where I had everybody bring a piece of fruit and a boa, and I gave them all, I told them to go out and trade for as many of the Amex pins that were everywhere to get them off the lanyards and bring them to me, and then whoever could get the most onto a piece of fruit, whatever, so if you brought a bigger piece of fruit, you got more pins on it. I was stupid. So the pin talk went away, and they called me up to the office, which was never good. And they said, well, we wanted to give you this, and thank you for the pin talk. And that was how I found out that was done. And, I got a lovely shadow box out of it, and I guess I wouldn't have had that otherwise, so I'm happy to have it. All right. Is there no time left for questions, Anita?
There's time.
Anybody have any questions, or are you ready to get out of here?
Let's hear it for you.
How long was that?
Thank you.
How long was that?
Just about an hour.
All right, well, that's what it was supposed to be, right? All right, thanks, everybody.
Thank you.